Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, on Antiga Shipyard, and in the upper left-hand corner of that, we have the winner of game number 1 from Team SCV Life. It is HyuN, and his opponent in the lower right-hand corner from Root. Switching his color to pink, it is Major.
Yeah, I think he wanted pink in the first place, and maybe that's why he lost.
Probably.
He didn't actually have his favorite color, so
yes.
It's possible. And speaking of colors, if you saw on Reddit recently
the
color-coded Antiga Shipyard that people don't know about, you can't even see it. Like, you actually can't see it on the map. It's only on the display for, like, maybe we can see this one. I think it's only on the display for the map. Oh, there it is, the little green light bar.
That's right. So
yellow
let's see.
Light
Yeah,
bar.
you can see there's yellow ones here, and then can you actually...
So at the green base, we have HyuN, and at the, what is that, white?
Oh, I can't really...
Gray?
Maybe it has to be activated?
Maybe, yeah,
I'm
maybe
not
it's gotta
sure,
be
so...
I don't know.
But yes, these are all color-coded. Yeah, that one's orange, so you can kind of tell.
Okay. But, yeah, so that was posted on Reddit recently and blew a lot of people's minds.
I didn't know it, so...
I had no idea. It's such a small little feature to even like keep track of. But if this really is a shipyard, it makes sense that they're labeled in a way that ships would be able to land at the appropriate dock. Because you can't just be like, all right, everyone come into Antiga Shipyard, just land wherever. Because, you know, you'd have command centers landing on top of factories. And
what I've always wondered about all of these is, why exactly are there mineral fields in the middle of the shipyards and such?
And what are they shipping to? Are they shipping to here, or are they shipping... Did they build the shipyard here because the minerals are here and they're shipping away?
And, like, why is this here? I mean, why was that left behind?
Come on, that's obvious. It's like a water purifier, right?
Yeah.
Or what is that? It's a claw of some sort?
I don't know.
It's from the giant mule that they started when they landed.
That's right.
They have giant mules coming in the expansion that are the size of Thor's, where they just mine an entire mineral field at one time.
Yes.
Yes. So that was obviously a remnant from previous StarCraft 2 days.
They also attack as well. So
they have giant lasers.
Yes. I'm sure everyone's going to be looking forward to that. It's all AoE, and it covers the entire map.
Yes.
Well.
And everything we say can be held accountable by Blizzard.
Yes. Clearly, yes. We only speak truth here at IPL. Command Center coming up for Major decided to expand after his barracks once again. He did the similar in the last game, then decided to double gas and move up into mech afterwards. It was kind of a cool strategy, though. He had a really nice established defensive line outside of his third on Kidaria, so I liked his approach. It just unfortunately didn't end up working out all that well in the end. Just the sheer ability to not take damage in the Overlords and drop their entire cargo on top of this huge prepared mech line was ridiculous from HyuN.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Major maybe overcompensated from lack of scouting for those mutas, because roaches were just roaming the map the whole time. They were never really at home except when they had to respond to something. So I'm wondering if Major just didn't realize the roach count was so high and that was the actual threat. I mean, he was building Vikings one at a time, starting to work toward those Thors once he saw the mutalisks, but didn't really have a great answer for the roaches. He had 3 or 4 tanks and a long line, which just, you know, got dropped on and killed.
Well, that's... And we'll see here what Major tries to do. Now, we've seen him do a bunch of different strategies in the past. He's really fond of Marine Tank because his control is really good. I mean, he's a really fast player. He's got really great multitasking. So I would not be surprised to see Marine Tank. Could certainly throw us for a loop and go pure bio, too. He's pulled it out on occasion and gone for like that Pult-heavy drop style. And this is not a bad map for that. So,
yeah, Major actually... Caught a bunch of criticism. What's the oh boy here?
That's the oh boy is 5 roaches coming out right at now 8 roaches coming out right at the beginning.
That's oh boy.
Yes.
But Major was criticized for a while as not being innovative, just copying Korean builds and playing them 10,000 times. So luckily for him, he does have amazing mechanics. So if at any time his stolen Korean build doesn't work, he can start dropping all over the place, and he can actually pull it off anyway. So he has that luxury of just always falling back on drops and doing incredibly well with them.
Oh, this is going to be a total of 11 roaches. That's a very high roach count. This is a huge push from HyuN, and he wants to end this game very, very early on. Major sees this, though. He's sending some SCVs up to the front, trying to build in that bunker. What is he producing at the moment? A lot of add-ons, and those are not going to be done in time to produce the units he needs to hold this back. It's just going to rely on good control and what he has available at the moment.
Yeah, he's probably going to pull something like 6 to 7 SCVs to start repairing that bunker and just start churning out Marauders. Yeah, you can already see see the Marauders. We've got 5 SCVs to start, 4 Marines inside the bunker, so that's certainly going to help. HyuN, actually, I feel like this is a mistake because he's got to know that the supply depots are going to go up, and now Major can actually bounce in and out of that bunker. Also, repairs, not gonna work out in time. I thought he was going to get there in time with those second round of SCVs, but now all the roaches are more or less pinned. Marauders are starting to come out. That one looked like it was gliding a little bit. It was kind of weird, but no concussive shells yet, so HyuN being forced to bounce back to this bunker, they really doesn't want to have to be attacking because of the repairs and stuff like that, and just all the extra health that don't essentially matter. These Marauders are now out finishing off the Roach forces, and you can see that HyuN hasn't built anything really except drones during this attack. So Major really has only lost an expendable bunker and a tech lab, and some SCVs obviously, but he's not dead, and that's a very important aspect of this.
And his tech is still going along pretty well. I mean, let's see here what he's reproducing. All tech labs? No, I didn't know if he was going to do some sort of a big Marauder Hellion all-in. We have seen that from time to time. But actually, out of HyuN now, he's going up to quad gas. He's got a Baneling nest. We may see a July-style hatch up to Spire and just 2 base quick Baneling Muta sort of a thing. He could just as well decide to make just a giant Baneling push as well, knowing what his opponent has on the field. Major, though, does have a pretty stout army, and he's starting to go back into his upgrade, so his economy wasn't hampered too bad, but he is still behind in workers by quite a bit.
HyuN actually was criticized for making too many Banelings at weird times as well. I remember last week against Squirtle, people were just saying, okay, when are the Banelings coming? When are the Banelings coming? He just didn't. He didn't really use a ton of Banelings. He just ended up doing more standard play, but this one, he looks like he's in his comfort zone a little bit and wants to make some Banelings. So we'll see how many he ends up making. Obviously, 2 Evolution Chambers coming up now, so he can start rolling upgrades. Most likely melee as he's getting Zergling speed finish, and that Baneling nest is done, so going to be able to explode for even more damage. He built his macro hatch before a 3rd base this time, as opposed to Kdaria, where he went for the quick 3 and then the macro hatch. So we'll see if that ends up making any difference at all. Lots and lots of Lings being produced to make lots and lots of Banelings, I'm sure. That wall-off that Major's got is pretty flimsy, so I mean, it's just depots. He can really just kill 1 depot and run right in with everything else. No bunkers. I'm a little bit surprised at that, actually, but this is a pretty sizable force coming along, so HyuN may even want to consider making more right now just to be able to defend against this.
Well, he hasn't shown an indication of that quite yet, but I agree with you. He's certainly going to need something pretty soon.
There's 14
Spire's
Lings
coming up now, and 14 Lings are on the way. That's a pretty purpose-built Ling-killing force, though, that Major has rolling across the map. Spinecrawler's trying to make his way out of there, but I don't think that's going to be too successful for him. Active Creep Tumors being killed at first, and Major doing a nice thing with his stim, going up. He hasn't stim, but he has stim now. It actually finishes a couple of seconds ago, making his way up to the hatchery to cut that off first.
Well-placed scans, because Creep Tumors pretty much have to be at the top of that shelf. Let's see what the Banelings actually... they actually didn't do too much. Good job for the Marauders actually tanking the bulk of that damage. A lot of stuff lived there that HyuN really needed to kill.
And
no
Major
cancel.
kills, exactly, the hatchery. No cancel on there as all.
That's a much larger number. This could actually take out everything if they're well placed enough.
They're still not the most cost-effective in the world, though. I mean, Major's been able to pick off a lot here, and he took some losses, but he killed a hatchery. He traded units for units there, and a hatchery, and the Banelings, which weren't all that cost-effective, exploding themselves on Marauders. So, it's weird. This is 2 games in a row where the beginning part of the game I was like, okay, Major's done a pretty good job of this, and I'm trying not to fall into where everyone's like, oh, you're just giving Major the credit, benefit of the doubt there, but he legitimately did do some pretty good damage.
Yeah, he's done more than HyuN has so far. I mean, HyuN actually did that little roach bust and killed some SCVs, but can we look at workers loss? Because I don't think Major's actually killed any workers,
No, not yet.
So HyuN definitely has that edge. Major has, the benefit of killing a lot of units and trading cost effectively with those Banelings, so... still very, very even. I mean, actually, I want to say at 12 minutes and 45 seconds in, Major was ahead in supply until just this last round of mutas, but I guess obviously that's a result of waiting for the mutas. Now HyuN is actually very low on gas, so he actually needed that 3rd base to be up and running right now. So, I mean, he actually hit at a pretty critical timing when HyuN was trying to save up for all these Mutalisks.
All right, well, HyuN, does he have any on the field yet? No, actually, this 7 is going to be pretty much it for now. We'll see if he produces any more. Looks like he's investing in his upgrades, though, and starting to work back into his infrastructure at the moment more than anything else. Now, Major does not have any missile turrets up yet that I can see. Yeah, just checked around and didn't see any at all.
He does have 2 bays, though.
And kind of an interesting thing, he's been cutting workers for a while. He's been at 52 workers for a good portion of this game. It looks like that's what he wants. That's all the economy he needs to push forward through this mid-game. There we go. Now finally restarting those. But it's been a few minutes in game, or a couple minutes in game, since he's made a worker.
Now, HyuN is making so many Zerglings and Banelings. This is what HyuN fans like to see, I think. So this Muteling Baneling strat was like the only thing Zergs were doing against Terran on maps like Shattered Temple and Tal'Darim Altar and stuff like that, just for a long, long time, until some of the new maps made them sort of shy away from it and get into that Heavy Infestor Broodlord play. So I'm curious if HyuN is going to be able to do much damage with this. I know Terran players know how to deal with it, but if Major's not expecting it, he can still get pretty much rolled over by it. So maybe it's one of those cyclical things where it's like, you know what, no one's done Muteling Baneling in long enough that I can just crush someone with it.
And HyuN's always been a fan of the style of Muteling Baneling. That's, I make a handful of mutas and I just send endless waves of Banelings and
40
lings
lings
at you. So
40 lings in production currently, so this is going to be a big follow-through attack for sure.
Now, Major does have a pretty stout defense at the moment. His siege tank count isn't overwhelming, but it is high enough that well-placed... Oh, as he picks off a muta there. Well-placed, he will be able to kill pretty significant clumps of Banelings.
Yep, Marines just running around trying to hold off those mutas for now. I agree, his defense looks pretty solid at the moment. He's not going to be able to move out, really, until he deals. He's basically waiting for HyuN to come attack him. And that's a lot of Banelings, I'm just going to say.
That's HyuN.
That's at least 5 Banelings there on that map, right?
It's actually 10 times that, so it's 50, adding into the 13 that are already out there. So 63 Banelings in total. How many lings after this 28 finishes up? And 65 Zerglings.
Oh, man. I do not want to be one of those Marines.
Oh, my God. Let's see here. Let's see if the tanks can get off the target fire that they need. Killing a couple of swaths in the middle. HyuN finally splitting those up and setting them after a couple of targets. He's killed quite a bit at the front, but there's still a pretty significant number of Banelings up top. Oh, but this could do some damage as Banelings are rolling into the mineral line. That's a lot of dead SCVs.
Only 3 Banelings remain near the end there, and Major's still up on supply.
Yeah.
That did not kill enough. It just didn't. There were really good splits from Major on the far left and right sides, which I thought was pretty cool, because usually you take one big group and split it multiple times, but he was keeping track every side there, and actually did not take lethal damage, which is the important thing when you're facing 60 Banelings.
And curious that HyuN just made a huge round of drones. He's up to 88 now. Wow. He just finished 17. That was his entire production cycle just after the attack had hit. As a result, Major certainly has the potential to get in and do some damage here in the short term. But he's pretty comfortable on 3 bases now. He's restarting that siege tank count. He's already back up to 3 again, producing a ton of Marines. So looks like he is content for now with just investing in his infrastructure and doing damage and taking control of the map.
He must have, I feel like HyuN must have thought he killed more percentage of Major's army than he did, because if Major had counterattacked there, he would have gotten that 3rd hatch for sure. I feel like, I don't know, well, something's happening here. We got a drop going on, but no hatch there to kill yet. And funny enough, a drone is there desperately waiting to build one. Mutas and Lings do find this contingency, though, so Medevac not likely going to escape. We'll see. Oh, he's making use of the nice little ledge there.
Nice
Mutas have to run away.
The yellow-colored ledge,
yes, the yellow ledge in the southwest quadrant of Antiga quadrant. Just kidding.
And HyuN is actually being attacked from multiple directions at once. Major's just all over the place. Not even going to fight an engagement. Major just going to take the win and tie